but for anybody. So we're joined by Harry Benson and his wife. Now, Harry's mantra is happy wife, happy life. I like you already. I like that. He uses that motto with his wife, Kate. And Kate, this was actually because you took the step to say you weren't happy in your marriage. How long had you been married when you actually said that to Harry?
I think by the time I really put it down on paper, we'd been married for 8 years. And I hadn't been happily married to Harry for quite a lot of that. But I had been happily married also for about 5 years. We'd had a very good time.
So
then the kids came.
Kids.
It was the kids that came. I mean, we wanted kids and we love our kids. But I think what happens naturally in family life is that the woman becomes more child-orientated, even if they're career women. They can't help the fact that they've had the baby. And
also, those kids need you. You have to look after them.
Yeah, I do, and I absolutely loved it. It was my favourite thing. And I think I took my eye off the couple. My eyes went down to the children, and it completely enveloped me. And I think Harry took his eyes off me.
Sorry, so if you got it wrong in the first place, like so many women who reject their husbands or neglect their husbands, the word I'm looking for, why is it a happy wife, a happy life? See, I think that's running up the white flag. That's very sexist. There's no way in God's earth I could say today, happy man, happy plan.
No,
huh?
No, but I think I was reading about you, and I think it's very interesting, because it sounds a bit flippant, oh, happy wife, happy life, but actually, you were saying that, you know, the woman, your eye has to come off to your children, and I do think sometimes men can feel very rejected, and instead of us thinking, oh, he's feeling a bit rejected, I need to spend more time, my thoughts were, oh, grow up, you know, you can look after yourself. I've got this baby that can't look after itself.
This baby's 14, incidentally.
Yeah,
just want to point that out.
But, you know, do you see that it's nobody's fault, really, but if you don't address it, then it becomes a big problem.
I think one of the things that I did very, very subtly, didn't realise I was doing it, is that because Harry wasn't stepping up, in my opinion, he was quite good with the kids when it suited him, is that I started to treat him more as part of the home care package. He was just another thing I had to look after.
Yeah.
Look,
and
you can say what you want, kids, whatever, home package, whatever, but as soon as the physical attraction goes, everything goes. That's my view. Is that what happened?
I think what happens is that I think we're talking about human nature here, and there's an awful lot of guff talked about differences between men and women. I mean, there are differences between people, so forget Mars and Venus. The really important difference is that women have babies and men don't. And I think the experience of childbirth and pregnancy and 9 months of effectively thinking about nothing but baby, 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 orientates a woman towards her child automatically in a way that doesn't necessarily happen as obviously for a man. And so the attention that you might have lavished on each other equally beforehand as a man and a woman, equally valid, equally in love with each other, I think it becomes a lot more difficult to sustain that for the woman. And
How did you turn it around?
Yeah. So when Kate said all this to you, you're not stepping up, Harry, I'm not happy, and she said it very seriously,
yeah.
You know, I'm really not happy. Was your reaction to be defensive, or did you really take that on board?
The thing that really made the difference was Kate wrote me a letter, and it was sort of like a job spec of what it was to be Harry's wife, and terms and conditions, and time and hours, and fun, and travel, and perks, and responsibilities, and all those things. And at the end of it, she said, but what I really want is friendship. And will I ever get that? I don't know. And anyway, who cares? And she said those words, who cares, in capital letters. And at the end of it, I thought, oh, my goodness, I read this thing, and I thought, what have I done? And we'd been married 8 years, we had 2 young children, we drifted apart, and I'd stopped being her friend, and I'd stopped...
But you hadn't noticed?
Caring. No, because we'd fallen into the sort of traditional roles of me going out and working, Kate looking after the kids, because I thought, you know, she was good at it. I'd taken a back seat, almost subtly.
See, there will be some men, Harry, that, you know, we can't kind of knock men all the time. There'll be men saying, yeah, but I have to go out to work. So lots of men say, oh, you know, he doesn't take much notice now. But then you say, but he's still getting up, going to work, you know, and not every case. Of course, there are house husbands, but generally...
Can I also just say, if I wrote you a letter saying, Ruth, here's a few things I'd like us to consider, you would take that negatively.
No, I think if I'm absolutely honest, and I think most of us, if we're honest, whenever anybody says, you know, I'm not happy with this, your immediate response is to be on the defensive because you feel like you're being attacked. So instead of listening and saying, oh gosh, take that on board. This is why I think marriage counselling is so good, couples counselling. I would go, oh, well, you're not happy, well, what about me? And that gets you nowhere, so you just argue. But actually, if it had come to the point, and I think writing a letter is very interesting because you have time to really put down your feelings with care and consideration, don't you, without a fight.
You mentioned earlier about, you know, when does the attraction go? I think if you're not friends, I think certainly for women, if you're not friends, it's very difficult.
Who's your
to be
best friend
intimate.
in the world?
You.
Who's my best friend in the world?
Who's my best friend in the world? Harry.
That's
he
it.
really is, and I absolutely adore him. But there was a long time where there was this kind of subtle neglect, and I felt constantly disappointed, and then I started micromanaging, and then my voice was just, can you do this, can you do that? And he would retreat. It was a vortex, and the whole thing was pretty negative, but I'm sure very normal.
Yeah, just very quickly then, because we are going to make this the subject of our phone-in today, and they say this month is, you know, the first week of January is when lawyers are so busy with people saying, I can't stand, I want to be out of this marriage. What would you say to people who are at this stage where they think they've grown apart? Because they do say most divorces, it's not one huge thing. It can often be just people have done this. What's your advice if they're watching now saying, I'm really unhappy?
Very simple. I would say, well, I'm obviously going to say, read the book that Kate and I have written.
This is called What Mums Want and Dads Need to Know.
And just put up on screen as well the points there of things that we haven't got those. It was a good idea.
But let me just say that we did a survey for this book of 300 mums, and we asked them, what are your priorities? What do you want from dad? What do you want from your partner, husband? And the things that came out top, universally, across the board, 300 mums, I want a friend. I want someone who's interested in me. I want someone who's interested in the children. I want someone who's kind to me. That's it.
No,
it's
that's not it. I want someone I fancy as well.
Do you know what came at the bottom of the list? I want someone who's sexy, adventurous, strong, provider.
Don't agree.
You're a man. This is
You're a man.
No, I don't. Listen. You're all. No, I absolutely.
It was women saying that. It was women saying that.
Well, then that's part of the problem.
No, but that's where maybe that's where it makes you different. That men have to fancy you, and women saying, you know what, you need to be helping me look after the children, caring about me and what I feel about things, and am I happy? And that whole happy
Well, do you know
wife,
what?
happy life.
That's an existence. That's not a life. That's an existence. That's my view right there.
Well, you make up your mind.
That's
I
my
thought
view.
it was fascinating,
Thank you.
actually, and I think the whole writing a letter is really brave of you to have done
And
that.
also, I just want to say that going through an unhappy patch, I think, is part of normal marriage. You know, when you get married or you're in a committed relationship, they talk about better and worse, for better and for worse.
Can I just ask you though, seriously, do you fancy your husband?
I really do.
Good. Do you fancy your wife?
Will be cringing.
It's very personal,
all my heart.
isn't it?
Well, I'm sorry, darling. I still
He's not
think.
going to say no on national TV. I hope.
Well, no, I tell you what, if you're not friends, it's awfully difficult to fancy someone, no matter how wonderful they are.
Absolutely
Otherwise, all these fabulous Hollywood celebrities would never split up if they look utterly gorgeous all the time.
Well, you look a lovely couple.
Thank you
We
so
really
much.
appreciate
You're
it. Thank
wonderful.
you. It's going to get everybody
Thank you.
talking today about lots and lots of things, coping with the breakdown of a relationship. I mean, should you just stay together for the sake of the kids, for the sake of the neighbours, for the sake of whatever?
Do it for your wife.
Well, do it for your wife.
Keep that in mind.
Sorry.
Therapist.
Where I'm going to disagree with you, some things should be done for the husband. I'm sorry. No. It's all women.
Say
No,
that.
but they are saying it.
Eamonn, what
They
time?
are saying it, darling. They are saying it again.
You're not listening.
There are
then.
good men out there as well.
Your producer's just saying, can you just get on
Eamonn,
with that
I'm on
bit?
your side. What turned our marriage around was when I realised that I needed to be kind to Kate. When I love her, she loves me back. I get everything I want. I'm out of trouble. And she actually fancies me.
It does work both ways. It has to work both ways, though. Anyway.
Therapist Mandy Salagari, let's hear from her.